He's like, I'm feeling better now. Give it to me, baby.
Give it
Dude,
to me,
cable
baby.
access. What a shame that it's gone. 97 seconds, Baes Boyz podcast.
Cable access would have been perfect for us.
Oh, we would have been amazing on cable access.
Perfect. For
Late
us.
night, like Saturdays
Especially-
at midnight.
Especially you could use your AI superpowers and draw us up real cool and stuff.
Yeah, right.
That'd be awesome. Was cable access the free channel? Is that what that was?
Yeah,
Like
because
anybody could be on it?
So yes, because by law, if you had cable channels, you had to allot certain amount of time on your cable network to the general public to do whatever.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I remember the only thing I've ever
That's
seen.
so you wouldn't have a monopoly kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's working out for him.
Right.
It's called YouTube.
Right. Well,
But,
YouTube broke that.
Right. Broke that right up. The only thing I remember seeing on cable access was this one dude who would work out with water jugs. That's the last thing I remember as a kid watching this dude.
Dude,
And
listen,
his whole thing
anybody
was...
could legitimately
Right.
have a 1 hour program on cable access.
And he was ripped. So that was what got me was I was like, homie, how did you get ripped with these gallon water jugs? And he's like, you could just do these at home, guys. And he's doing curls with a 1 gallon jug. And I'm like, bro, how are you ripped though? Like, did you really just use that jug to get ripped? And just, I remember being a kid and being like, what?
He did 4,500 curls at one sitting.
With 1 gallon.
With 1 gallon.
Just sitting there all day.
Just burning fat all day.
Doing the Herschel Walker.
Right. Lifting his own body. Right. Well, Herschel Walker used to use his own body weight, though.
Right.
Because what was he doing, like 2,000 push-ups a day?
Yeah. At one point, I think he said he was up to like 4,000 a day. And I'm like, homie,
by the way, do you know how long that takes? I did 1,000 push-ups one day.
How long did it take you? All day?
I did them in groups of like 25 and 50.
Yeah.
If I could crank out 50.
For normal people, that's what you have to do.
But I did it over the entire day.
He used to do his workouts in the morning, bro.
Just straight.
Yes. I've read his workouts a million times, and he would get up in the morning. He would get up an hour and a half earlier than everybody. He would eat, and he'd be like the first one in the gym, allegedly.
I did it over 8 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
but I knocked out 1,000.
Yeah, you probably fucking did a couch to 1,000 too, which means I'm guessing you didn't train up to it.
I didn't.
No, you weren't stacking and progressively overloading. I think you just woke up one day and decided you were going to do 1,000.
I was at a job and I was working, and that's like I had an 8-hour shift, and I'm like, I'm going to do 1,000 push-ups today.
I could do this before the day ends.
Right.
Yeah. How'd you feel the next day? Not good.
Yeah.
2 days, pretty sore.
That was kind of sore. Yeah.
Do you get it? Do you get sore the very next day, or do you have the 2-day delay set?
It depends.
I have the delay set. The next day, I feel like the most amazing guy in the world, but the third day, it feels like someone beat me fucking senseless
with a stick.
So it's always the third day. I'm like, the second day you got to do cool stuff because you feel good, you have a little bit of a pump. The third day though, it's fucking useless.
You can't get out of bed.
No, no. 1,000 push-ups, dude. I don't think I've ever done 1,000 push-ups in a day. Like,
dude, chunk it, right?
You know,
I didn't do it straight like Herschel Walker. So I'm just going to be honest with that.
And his workout program, I mean, it's been 15 years since I read it, but I think it was less than 2 hours. Like he could get done from the time his teammates came in to when they finished, and he'd still get done. And you're like, how, bro?
He was a beast.
Right.
He worked up to that point. It didn't come.
He just
didn't wake up one day and was like, here I am.
So listen, allegedly, and again, I'm not doubting the guy, but from what I read, he only survived on like soup and salad too, which is another. I'm like, dude, how?
You need protein to get that. To maintain that muscle
He said
mass.
he wasn't a meat guy. Look up Herschel Walker's diet because I'm pretty sure he said he was a vegetarian type soup.
But he was still getting proteins somehow.
I hope.
You in order to stack on that muscle, you need protein.
Spelled TRNEN. Oops, TRN.
High protein, low carbs, no processed foods.
Yeah, but that was the other thing too. One meal. That was the other one. One meal a day.
Because listen, there's a lot to be said for that 24-hour fasting and 72-hour fasting and 48-hour fasting. You know, because it forces your body to reprogram every 24 hours, every 48 hours, however long you do it.
I don't even.
That's a much healthier. That's a much healthier.
Can you
way.
really call it reprogramming when you weren't supposed to be eating from 7-Eleven every day, anyways?
Yeah.
It's more like a reboot.
Right, it's a reboot because you're not supposed to be eating 7-Eleven hot dogs every day.
What's
or corn
that
dogs.
fucking cortisol?
Taquitos.
Is it cortisol that your body creates if you get hungry again or something and you're supposed to have?
Cortisol is caused by stress.
No, that's not good then. What's the one that's some sort
Which
of chemical
creates
produced
fat.
when you don't eat? There's some sort of chemical your body produces that you're supposed to have, but because we are able to eat from grocery stores every day, most people don't even have it anymore.
Right.
Which is really interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you go back in time to the caveman where hunting and gathering, right? You were lucky to get one meal a day, right?
Shout out to the Amish. Still doing that hunter and gathering shit, you know? They got to gather them eggs before they can eat them.
Look, they're not a lot of fat Amish, I'll say that.
I have yet to see any.
Unless
they're over a certain age.
Yeah, after a certain age.
If you're a certain age, I get it. You earn that.
Right.
You're living a physical life that equates to some 3 or 4 lifetimes for some people.
Right.
You know,
Right.
physically wise.
I'd seen some stuff this past weekend with that community, and some people might call it child labor. They're like, no, they don't call it that. They're like, you're just earning your keep.
Oh, well, that's how it should be.
They all got together and they were building an addition in one of their community members' homes, and everybody was working. Everybody.
Dude, I saw them wearing Nike Air Forces and vaping.
No, those weren't the. Those were probably.
Yeah, there's a different word for them, you said?
No. Those were probably the Mennonites.
They're still Amish, right?
No, it's a different community.
They're not Amish.
They're not Amish.
Why do they wear the same clothes?
They wear similar clothing, except they can have electricity and drive.
They were getting a ride from somebody, but yeah, same difference.
Yeah.
They were in the van,
Yeah.
the candy van.
Yeah, it's some Amish communities aren't as strict as other ones.
Bro, I'm trying to break into that community, bro. I'm trying
They
to
won't
get in
let you-
there.
they're not gonna let you
it's
in.
the tattoo on the face, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably part of it.
Fuck.
That's the
You
one
know
that
what?
keeps you out.
You know what? When they warned me, I knew I should have said, there was like a whole list you have to sign at the parlor. It says like the Amish won't take you. These religions won't take you. You know, it's
on the warning.
It's the official job stopper paperwork you got to fill out.
I got you.
Anyways, well, fuck that. I guess we're not going to get this. It's probably good, better. I can't lift hay anyways. Like I can't even lift a bale of hay. So
Listen, there is
like, that's
have
hard
you
as
ever
fuck.
heard that phrase, hay baling strong?
Yes, comes from them white boys sitting there fucking throwing hay all day.
Listen, right?
Yeah,
Since like the age of 10, right?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
out there throwing hay around.
I'm not doing that. I'm not fighting any of those guys.
Listen, they are, and I knew a guy who wasn't Amish, who was a just hay baling strong dude, who really didn't know how strong he was.
Yeah.
So when we would play wrestle or whatever,
No. Yeah.
that dude would just whip your ass, and he wasn't even trying. Right?
You don't want to play around with anybody who's got the death grip. I watched a guy the other day in a construction site in slippers and jeans hanging from the beam of the roof and like drilling screws in while he was hanging from one hand. And I was just like, dog. And I looked at the video, like the whole video goes by, right? It's like 3 fucking minutes. I'm like, homie, I don't think I can hang from that for 30 seconds. And you're hanging with one hand while you're using a drill
Right,
to
screw
put screws
gun.
in. Right. All the comments were great. They were like, well, that house is fucked because this idiot's working on it. I'm like, oh, I'm not allowed to hang and screw, apparently.
Oh, right.
Looked down upon.
Must
Must be.
That's snobby builders.
Yeah, snobby builders. Right. They're probably the ones that don't let you drink on the job either. Shout out to our boys drinking on the job.
Oh, God.
Dude, listen. For real, like, there's some horrible hooliganness going on in jobs, but construction workers are bad.
Painters.
Painters, too?
House painters.
Painters make sense because whatever you paint, it just looks bad. It can't hurt anybody, right? Like,
Listen,
if you're a guy who builds
I
a
seen
whole
a guy
house,
painting a house one time, and my man had a 40 in a paper bag while he was
just
up there,
straight up,
just
huh?
straight on a on a scaffold.
Oh, like I said, you're not hurting anybody with that paint, so
Yeah, but if you
know.
fall off that ladder,
hey, they don't care.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He's going home early,
right?
right?
Oh, Lord.
So I don't know if I'd want that job, but just construction.
It's got to
in
be
general.
mind numbing, right?
The painting.
Yeah, you just got to paint houses all day, every day. It's the same thing every day. And listen, I'm not looking down on them, and I'm not.
No. If you can do it, more power
yeah,
to you. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
No, it is. It's boring.
I'm not cut out for that.
Well, none of my paints ever
But
come
I'll tell
out.
you what, painters get paid.
None of my shit comes out even. So that's like a big qualifier.
When you
Like,
paint a room,
Yeah, you kind of know, like right at the beginning.
where the paint dries, you're like, oh, it looks like
Fuck.
there's more coats on this section
Yeah.
than on this
Oh,
section.
1,000%, bro. 1,000%. People are just like, what the fuck are you doing? It's not even. I'm like, I don't even know that there's an even word in this conversation. Like, I didn't know that was conceptually possible. It was blue before. It's white now. Who the fuck cares if you could see a little blue through it, my man?
Oh, God.
But they're not happy with that.
No.
So-
Nobody's paying you for that work.
No.
Thank God it was
Yeah.
your living room.
Imagine, right? Like, I mean, there's so many other jobs like that, but you don't think that, right? Like painting, like you're gonna know right away if you're a shitty painter. Like we just see it right on the board, right?
Oh, right. There's no hiding it.
Do you think like there's some doctors
Drips
who go
everywhere.
through-
Drips
it's on the carpet. It's on
the
the carpet and shit. It's on my clothes. Listen, I have a pair of Dickies in the closet somewhere.
Look, if you don't have paint on your clothes and you're a painter,
You're not a good painter.
I'm suspect of you.
Yeah.
I'm suspect.
I was gonna say I have a pair of Dickies that have paint on them from the last room I painted.
Oh,
That was 1999.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna bring those out later and show them to you as evidence.
I'm
but-
glad you still have them.
Yeah. Well,
I got some 40-year-old pants.
I'm hoping to fit into them soon here, any day now.
right,
you know,
any day.
just get some more painting done.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing any of that. But we were talking about speaking of painting and other jobs, we were talking about jobs the other day that are crazy to take. Have you ever had any crazy dangerous jobs? Minus
dentistry.
No. Dentistry would be unsafe because somebody could bite you, like any time, bro.
I'm not trying to be a dentist. I'm not trying to be a dentist at all.
How are we going into this? This is horrible. This is horrible. I feel like.
Okay, so
you think somebody
back to
would-
what you were saying.
I lost it already.
Crazy dangerous jobs.
No, I was thinking about power lines, construction.
Oh, bro.
Would you play with power lines?
That is something I don't like to fuck with at all. Is
No.
electricity.
No.
I've been shocked a whole bunch in my life,
Yeah.
and I didn't enjoy not one of it.
Yeah. I was telling Shaggy I got offered that job once, and they were like, "We got
There's
you."
a reason those high power line people get paid as much money. as they
Dude,
get
25 starting for class. Like you're just right out the gate. You're like $25. It's like
paid. An hour.
That's
it.
That's starting. That is the base bottom pay. That's what they pay you to go sit in class.
Oh, okay.
Right. Because
Once you graduate the school, though,
right,
your pay goes
you get
up.
even more.
Right.
Yeah. Somebody, a friend of mine, got me a seat in the class, pulled string, sent me the letters, and I was like, "No, I'm good."
Oh,
Deuces.
dude.
Like, bro, but they were like $25 just to sit in class for the next 3 months, and I'm like, wow, no. I could see why this is happening right now.
But here's the
I see the writing
thing.
on the wall.
Look, how many times have you been on the highway and you seen an electric truck from another state on the highway?
Ooh.
Because
because they get sent everywhere.
they get sent everywhere.
Which makes no sense. Is it just because no power line workers want to live in Ohio?
no. When there's a natural disaster
Yeah.
and they got to get the power running,
Right.
they need as many all hands on deck, and they're pulling people from all over the country
Really?
to go help reestablish.
There's that few power line people, huh?
Well, yeah. Think about it. If Florida gets hit with a hurricane, and 7,000 miles of power lines are down. I'm just throwing a wild number.
No,
out there.
yeah.
It doesn't matter how many people you have in the state doing it.
They're like, they can't bring out, they're like, get the power line guys from the academy. They got to get out there and start working. You know what I mean? There's just not enough.
They pull people. Yeah, there's not enough people, so they got to pull people from. Because you're trying to reestablish power as quickly as possible.
Everywhere, not just in one spot.
Right, not in one spot.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. So those people, they get paid crazy amounts of overtime.
Oh yeah, and they're there, and they've got the time where it pays you 24 the day, like all day, the whole time they're there.
Yeah.
So that should give you an idea of how fucked things are when.
Or how dangerous the work is.
Yeah, that and just how few people there are too.
Well, how about the ones that hang from helicopters, right? You ever seen the videos of those guys working on those giant towers?
No.
And they put them up there they're on helicopters, working off of helicopters?
No.
Oh,
I've seen the ones where the dudes climb the giant towers, which is also crazy.
Oh, to replace the light at the top so airplanes don't hit it?
I'm like, homie.
Every 6 months. So I think it's I saw something, they get paid something like $30K to do it or
For
something.
a light bulb.
Yeah.
For a light bulb, bro.
Right.
Of course, you got to climb 200 stories. Those fucking things are so high in the sky. If you're working a job where you got to,
do you know the wind is swaying that motherfucker too?
Right. And you got to hook a safety belt every 10 steps. You're rehooking your safety cables.
Right.
I'd have triple safety cables, bro. Give me 3 of them. Give me 4 of them. And I want one that just goes up and down.
You know what I'd be worried about is it didn't matter that you were cabled in. It'd be that section snaps off the tower.
Well, that's a whole new nightmare. I hadn't even thought about that fucking part.
Right.
Just the whole piece
The
collapses.
bolts are all rusty, and you go past it, and that section just breaks off.
Did you see there's a fucking... We talked about this a few months ago. You remember that fucking movie where the movie's about two girls being at the top of that light bulb tower because they thought we didn't watch it, though.
Yeah.
How fucking horrible was that? How did those girls get up there? I don't remember. Did they climb?
They climbed up there or something.
So you can't fucking climb back down? The ladder broke?
Something, yeah. The ladder rusted off and broke off or something crazy
that's
like
why you
that.
don't be stupid and climb places you're
And
not
then they were
supposed
trying to hook their cell phone into the light to get signals so they could call for a rescue or something ridiculous. I don't know. You shouldn't have been on there.
Right. What are you doing?
Where was your parachute for your base jump?
Yeah, you look like you're trying to go to the mall, homie. You shouldn't have been climbing this 200-story
with your Skechers stacks.
And that's the whole movie is them just standing there, right?
Yeah.
And that's like the opposite of the shark movies where they end up on a rock.
Oh.
Like, I'm stuck on this fucking rock. I've been here for 19 fucking hours and the shark is still here. Okay.
Oh, that'd be horrible too.
That's what you fucking get for being stupid and swimming somewhere where there's rock sharks and nobody else around. Like, I'm sorry. What are you?
My cell phone died. What shouldn't have been in the water.
Right. Why did you have it there? My flare gun washed away with Wilson. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
My Ziploc bag got a hole in it and my cell phone's wet now.
Like, it's just common sense, bro. Even hikers let people know, like, hey, I'm going to the woods for an hour. If I don't come back out, come get me. So
you know, like a lot of these national trails that you go hiking on,
yeah.
At the beginning of the trail, there's a logbook. You have to sign in.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And when you get off the trail, there's one there that you have to sign out.
So they know where.
And the rangers come check it every day.
Oh, I hope so.
Right? And so if you don't come off, like, and after 3 days, they're like, well, they were here and they didn't leave the trail. So. Well, and usually that's because you're now a part of the missing 411.
Yes.
Aliens or Bigfoots took you and your rifle and all that other good stuff.
Speaking of that missing 411, I saw a new story again the other day that goes along with what you were talking about. A little boy walked 7 miles in the desert in Arizona, bro.
Right. And you see that? And the dog saved the kid.
Found him.
Yeah.
A Pyrenees something.
Pyrenees mountain dog.
Yeah, something like that.
Great Pyrenees.
Yeah. That's wild, bro. 7 miles in the Arizona desert.
What were you doing out there?
And what'd they say in the middle of the night? And he's 7 years old or some shit?
I don't know.
It was crazy. A young kid. Dude, it was a young kid. We're talking like super young kid, 2, 3, 4 years old or some shit.
What's with these kids getting up in the middle of the night and just walking away?
How do you make it 7 miles without getting killed?
Scorpions,
coyotes,
snakes,
anything.
Right.
Traffickers.
Yep.
The coyotes with trucks. Like just anything.
What do they call them? Skinwalkers.
Right. Bigfoot didn't grab him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bigfoot don't want no kid.
Bigfoot don't want to be in the desert neither.
Be annoying. Yeah.
Ain't nowhere to hide in the desert for Bigfoot.
That too.
It's too hot. With all that hair.
But bro, 7 miles.
Wild.
You imagine losing your kid and he walks and ends up 7 miles down the way at some dude's farm?
Well, child services be at your house.
Bro, you're fucked. you are so fucked.
What do you mean
if you didn't make that fucking phone call 10 minutes after that kid walked out the door, you are in for it.
Yes, you are.
Full investigation. That kid's going to a facility tonight. All kinds of stuff. Yeah. And the dude's dog found it patrolling the farm.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, that's
the dog's like, all right, kid, grab my collar.
Yeah, he's like, he loves kids. So it makes sense that he brought him home. I'm like, you can only say that if it's a dog.
Right.
Like, that's the only thing that could bring a kid home and it's okay. A random dog. Right. A security dog that's outside your farm.
But that's what that's the other crazy part is, right? The guy had the right dogs for farm patrol.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Because I saw another video where this guy, he had these 2 giant ass dogs. And he goes, every night at this time, he goes, they have a shed that they sleep in on the farm. Yeah. He goes, and every night they work as a team. They patrol like the entire perimeter of his farm.
Right.
He goes, they do it like 2 or 3 times a night at different times. And if they start barking, there's something out there. And his 2 dogs cornered some dude who had been breaking into houses. And he hopped his fence into that pen where the dogs were. And he was, dude, I saw the video. He was screaming like a bitch. He was like, come save me. Come save me.
Really?
He was like, yeah, you broke into the wrong property, my man.
That's just people that don't understand dogs. Because if those dogs were vicious, they'd have ate his ass before while he was screaming, save me.
Oh, well, they had him cornered.
Yeah?
They had him cornered and they were waiting for Dad to come out.
Yeah, people get freaked out when they get cornered by dogs.
Well, they should.
Yeah, I mean.
Because, I mean, what if he was like, sick balls?
No, I never been cornered by a dog. I never seen it from that side, you know? You ever been cornered by a dog?
No.
Yeah, I've never have either. I'm not saying a dog couldn't corner me. I've just never
bees and dogs smell fear.
What's We don't have no fear here, boy. I've been bit in the ass by a dog. Big old Rottweiler.
Oh.
I bet he could smell the fear all over me. But he didn't corner me.
That's why
I got away.
Right.
Yeah.
Both smell fear too. As I've been told by my one buddy.
Right.
He said, you know, that day the bull looked safe. And then he goes, but he wasn't.
But he wasn't.
And they say, hey man, did you try to outrun that bull? And he looked at me, he goes, you can't.
You can't outrun the bull.
I was like, oh, it looks like you tried to, my man.
Speaking about running a bull, as you showed me on that video earlier, do you think fish can see water?
We can't see air because we breathe air.
Breathe it.
Fish breathe in water. Do you think they can see the water? Or the question is, can fish see air? Because they can't breathe in it. That's the question. Can fish see the air?
So he's got a good point, though. Like, if a fish comes out in water already, how do they know that they're in the water? They don't. They're just in it their whole lives. They can't see it. They just see through it.
They
and
do
you
see
can't
through it.
see through water, so my eyes are no good underwater. I've never been able to see shit. Even since we were kids, I couldn't see shit. So
Well, you have to open them.
yeah, well,
That's part of
I
it.
opened them a few times.
You can't see through your eyelids.
It looked like for me, it looks like two different cameras, bro. So it doesn't work for me.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's really bad. The astigmatism
You get
thing. It
you
makes
get
sense.
wonky eyes.
Yeah.
Each eye faces a different direction.
Exactly. In the water, I'm
like an
"Where's-
ambush predator.
Where's that guy coming from? Yeah, I can see people moving on one side and shit. I think it's just the astigmatism thing. I don't think it's special. I think it's literally the water thing. But that's why it got me thinking. I'm like, is he right? Like, my man's fish, he don't open his eyes in the air. He's like, I can't breathe. Don't open your eyes. It'll get in your eyes.
It'll get in your eyes.
Fuck.
I don't know if they have that amount of computing in their brains. I don't know if they can process that.
I'm gonna tell Dolphin you said that.
Oh, dolphins are different.
Can they see air?
Ah, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
They breathe air, so can they see water?
Oh, I don't know the answer to that either. This is something we're going to have to research. If you're a listener and you know the answers to these questions,
Send it to us because we're not going to research it. I'd really like to know if fish can see water now. What do fish see like? Is there, I mean, do they have a bigger, is it a fish eye view because that's what fish's eyes look like in the camera or what?
I don't know. Maybe that is. Maybe the shape of their eyes. I don't know. This
They
is
do
way
got
beyond.
the bulgy eyes. They do got the bulgy eyes.
Yeah, this is way beyond my ability to compute. Dude, yeah, aquatic stuff's a different. Like, I just watched a video where a guy had a pet octopus. People are fucking weird. He's like, he's mad at me because I've been gone for a couple of days. And I'm like,
I don't want to say that he's wrong, but I mean,
and he had it crawl out of the tank and it was crawling on his arm.
Get
and
the
stuff.
fuck
Oh
outta
yeah,
here.
dude, it is weird.
does he have like an open top tank where the thing is like sitting on a
That
rock
doesn't
and it's
even
like
matter.
out of the air? It just is standing there on display.
It crawled
and
up the
shit?
side of the tank. He opened the lid and the thing crawled up the side and was holding on to it.
Like instantly just knew he was connected.
Yep.
See, that's freaky because that might actually be a thing.
And
They're
he's like,
talking
and then he was petting it on its head. He's like, you see these little spiky things standing up? It's because he's mad at me right now. And then he's like, he's calming down. He started petting the octopus, and then it crawled back in its tank. They're hyper intelligent.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
I've seen
that's what they
videos of
say.
them where they can open up a peanut butter jar, crawl inside, and screw the lid down.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, yeah, they do wild stuff. Yeah, see.
Like crows and shit.
Oh
man.
yeah, you got to train an octopus to bring you presents.
No, I'm thinking his fucking reach would not be far for that. A crow, maybe.
Crows, yeah.
Can we get a hold of a crow somewhere?
It's illegal to have crows as pets.
That wasn't my question. Stay focused.
You need to
AI
get,
Joe
all right,
Skelly.
so listen, you need to get a crow collar, and you need to start bringing them in. And when they start coming, you need to feed them peanuts. Right? So every time you call, throw out some peanuts. And after you do this for a while, they'll show their appreciation by bringing you presents.
Do crows eat mosquitoes?
No.
Fuck. Just bats, huh?
Yeah. Purple marmots. Purple marmots eat mosquitoes too.
What the hell is that?
It's a bird.
Oh.
That's why they got those weird giant bird houses all over in the country up on the pole.
No shit.
Yep. Because they want those birds on their property to eat all the bugs.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I don't know if your HOA would allow that.
Yeah.
But the way to combat the HOA is to put in bat boxes everywhere because they can't fucking do anything about it because they're federally protected.
That's right. If you want to destroy your HOA, get
and make
bat
everybody
boxes.
mad as fuck, either you put up owl boxes
Or bat boxes.
or bat boxes or find a way to attract bald eagles.
Listen, I have a friend who's having trouble with an HOA now. I might tell him to do the bat box thing.
Yeah, tell them put up bat boxes all
so
over.
they can get out of the contract.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm trying to leave. If you guys don't let me leave, I'm going to fuck with you.
Yeah, bat boxes, bald eagles, and owls are the way to get revenge. You know, and hey, I'm sorry, my bald eagle that lives on my property that's not my pet scooped up your chihuahua.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Can't help
I
that.
knew that was going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Or you turn your
this is
property into a
America.
federally protected wetland.
Start burying people in it so it becomes the other thing too.
You get you got to get praying mantises, a whole bunch of praying mantises in there.
Oh my god.
And cattails and lily pads and shit like that. Make sure you find endangered species and let them live on your property. They can't do shit about it.
That way nobody can fuck with you.
That's right.
It's really not a bad idea.
I agree.
I think you guys should be happy that we've given you all these blissful jewels.
Or you just start doing some wild shit to your land, and when they question you, you'd be like, I'm an archaeologist. I'm doing an excavation because I heard my property was the 37th stop on the Underground Railroad for so-and-so.
I think some people did that down the road. They've got a whole coffee shop, and they're like, this is the Underground Railroad. I pass by it all the time. I keep meaning to go in there.
You should.
Yeah, I probably won't. I think they finally closed them down.
Oh, because they realized it really wasn't.
They were like, we don't care about your railroad. It's past.
There wasn't an Underground Railroad there?
We need this for a golf course.
No, what they wanted it for was a Magic the Gathering place.
Oh, fuck.
Pokemon refuge.
If you like Magic the Gathering, write the show.
Please don't.
Let us know how your deck is going.
I was just Yu-Gi-Oh.
Listen, dog, I was just blown away by the one fat dude saying that they went and pulled the card. The other fat dude's like, yeah, man, surprised there were so many fat dudes here. And I'm like,
why?
Were you?
Were you really?
You fucking surprised? You were so surprised that a bunch of dorks were hanging out at the Gathering card shop. Like, what?
Look.
I was surprised to see so many dudes here.
I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't see too many people doing Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic the Gathering or Pokemon at the gym when I go.
No, that's what I was going to fucking...
They're not throwing Pokeballs at the gym.
Surprised to see sweatshirts at the gym. Were you? Like, it's usually where they belong. It's a lot of people's preference. And card tabletop games happen to be a lot of dork-ass preference. Where the fuck else would they be? They closed all the fucking cyber cafes, my man.
Well, yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
What's that one board game that takes like 12 hours to play?
Jesus. Is there one?
Where you're fighting, waging war against different countries.
Oh, Risk.
Risk. Yeah.
Yeah, that game. Yeah, we never finish a game of Risk. Nobody ever finishes
a game of Risk.
It's just whoever has the most countries wins.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is there a speed version of that?
I think you're just not supposed to be a sloppy loser and go slow is what it is, but people just can't.
If you make it a speed version of Risk, I bet it'd sell.
They have to have a modded version.
1 hour,
right?
1 hour Risk.
1 hour guaranteed risks. It's just less soldiers and a quarter size map, 25% map. That's all you get. Start with less guys, less dice rolling. You're like, how's this take a lot shorter?
Everybody
time?
gets one nuke to start the game.
Yeah. If you use it early, the game's over.
Right.
Over. Jesus, that's fucking
So back to
horrible.
dangerous jobs. I mean, I bodyguarded once.
What?
Yeah.
A bodyguarded what?
I bodyguarded one time.
As a dangerous job?
Yeah.
Was it in like a very public type place?
I was bodyguarding some very high risk people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That could be murdered at any point in time. It was
anything. No, that's not. I don't. That's only dangerous if it pops off, though.
Yeah.
That's That's not like, hey, you wake up every day and put your head in a fucking weed whacker or some shit, you know, like, or like, hey, I was climbing on this conveyor belt that leads into this meat grinder and almost fell in, cleaning off whatever. I don't fucking know. What do real men's jobs do now? I keep seeing that post about the whole women, we don't need men thing, and then it shows those two dudes doing the oil rig thing, and the one dude's like, they're just covered in fucking oil, has no shirt, just jeans, and they're throwing these big rig fucking presses and shit, and I'm like, homie, you can say whatever you want. I don't want that job.
Yeah, that's there's a reason those guys get paid a lot.
They're never home.
They're
gonna be broken by the time they're 40.
Yeah, they're on the rig like 30 days on and like a week off.
And nobody. And
2 weeks off.
Yeah, we're not saying you're hard as fuck, man. You're hard as nails if you're doing that. We ain't trying to fight you.
Right.
But I ain't taking the job.
No.
Either. You know.
It takes a special person to go out and work an oil derrick.
It does. Or a special person to climb into a fucking hole and go 30 miles down to dig coal.
Yeah.
Just so some girl named Stephanie can eat fucking bonbons and drink pumpkin spice on a Saturday.
Yeah. Oh shit.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a hard job. Working in space is only big enough for your body to fit in. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant really working in space like Katy Perry work.
No.
I was like, yeah, she only fit her body in because she didn't have anything in space with her except
They're
for
astronauts now.
That flower.
They're astronauts now.
Brother.
And listen, you don't realize how much it touches your soul until you go to space. Or listen, isn't that what she said?
She's cut the way for a new millennium of women.
Hey, but it was her and her, it was all women on that flight, wasn't it? I don't know. Were there some other people on there?
Somebody had to drive.
Well, no, I think it was being remote controlled.
Oh.
I think that's...
It's on autopilot, like the dog?
It was like on autopilot, and then when they got to a certain point, it just kicked the capsule off and they floated down.
Jesus.
And then Jeff Bezos had to go open the door the second time.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, because they opened the door from the inside the first time when they weren't supposed to, and they had to hurry over, tell him to close it so he could reopen it, make it look, super special. Like he had a secret tool to open the door.
Listen, I'm going to be honest, and I didn't fact check this, but somebody said those suits are compression suits too. The ones astronauts are supposed to wear that Katy Perry did not have on.
Oh no!
They're like, bro, how the fuck you don't have a pressurized suit? How the fuck did you go into space at all? Like, there's no way for you to control any pressure at all.
Here's what I can tell you: they must not have been in true outer space, because even SR-71 pilots and U-2 pilots
need oxygen.
They have to wear a spacesuit with oxygen because at 70,000 feet.
Right. That's what I didn't understand. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was like,
and maybe it was a pressurized capsule. They weren't worried about that.
That was my
thing. But even the NASA astronauts in their capsules wore spacesuits.
I was gonna say, I was 2 weeks ago years old when I found out that there was a guy in the comments that was like, listen, I worked with NASA. Those suits are specially made for them to go up on the trip. He goes, how the fuck did that bitch just float up there with no suit on, no pressure, no extra oxygen, just nothing? And I was sitting there, I'm like, well, if they were stupid enough to know they weren't getting out, did they really need a suit? Because were they going to let those bitches out of that capsule? But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I'm just saying they were probably on the edge of space.
Oh, doing the halo, huh?
Just like the U-2 pilots on the edge of the
stratosphere. What do you call them?
U-2
pilots?
U-2. The letter U, Roger. And the number 2.
Gotcha.
Like the spy plane.
Yeah.
Which is still in service, by the way, which is amazing.
It's Russian components. Russian component made in Taiwan.
No, that was the SR-71 Blackbird that was made from all titanium. And at that point in time when we were building it, the only people that had titanium were the Russians during the Cold War. And so we made all these shell companies and bought the titanium from the Russians during the Cold War to build the spy plane that would spy on them, which was amazing.
It's a perfect plan.
Yes.
Right there.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, so they basically went to the level of where those guys, space parachuters, have gone up to parachute, huh?
Yes. And
that's
even
essentially what it is.
And even they were
wearing a suit.
Yeah. Kind of weird.
Fucking Katy Perry. Maybe her boobs allowed her to float without the suit. And they just held extra oxygen.
Perhaps.
Like she's like one of those underwater old school pearl divers that could stop their heart rate to 50% and
slow it down.
Yeah, slow it down for 30 minutes.
Well,
while
15 minutes in space makes you
an astronaut.
But here's my thing: if it wasn't real space, Like if they weren't in outer, like,
did they pass the line?
That's the question.
That's the question.
I don't know.
And
I'm saying they didn't.
Now, mind you,
I don't know.
Katy Perry is the singer girl.
Right, but she wasn't the only one on that dick rocket.
Right.
The Bezos dick rocket.
That Bezos didn't have to open. How do you have a capsule that's not sealed, by the way?
You
Just
don't.
Curious.
It's got to be hermetically sealed.
Do they
right?
always? Right. Well, I mean, how did they said they were like, we can't open it from the inside. I was like, dude, so if I'm an astronaut and I come home, I can't open that door from the inside either?
I don't know about that. I'm just saying
sketch.
that I don't know.
That was weird.
About that. I'm not gonna hate on them.
But the fact, no, and we're being serious. We don't know.
Mean,
I've never.
You
seen
can open
anybody...
an aircraft airplane from the inside, even though they close it from the outside.
Right. That was my question. And then of course, Dick Rocket Head's tool. He's like, I need the tool. Is that tool simply because there was no door handle?
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. There's no outdoor door handle.
Right. That's the only thing I could think of because he didn't do anything with it. He just put it on there and lifted it up. I'm like, homie.
Well, you have to remember NASA changed its protocol because of the fire that killed all those astronauts on the Apollo, because it could only be opened from the outside.
Right. That's why I thought.
That's why NASA changed their policy.
That's why when they had him doing it, I'm like, I thought this was a thing already where they could open, because people were like, real spaceships don't open from the inside. I'm like, that's
not
pretty
true.
Stupid to say.
That's not true, because they used to be like that, and all those astronauts died horribly in that fire.
Especially from your keyboard in La Palma. Okay? Just shut the fuck up. I think you've seen as many rockets as we have.
Right.
You got your fucking rocketeering schooling from E.T. Just chill out. You can't open an astronaut door from the outside. Well, how many have you designed, my God? Well, none. But
how many space capsules have you been in?
Right.
Get out of here.
Yeah. So it's just a bunch of hubbub.
A bunch of haters.
I'm still curious about the suit thing, though. That has got me curious.
Dude, they were wearing painters' coveralls.
Right. Well, because think about it from just from our standpoint. Okay. Listen, just from our standpoint, if you and I showed up on the beach in the Bahamas and my man's was like, hey, dog, we're going scuba diving, and had no scuba gear, I'd be like, I saw a movie where they had a gear, a tank, maybe some oxygen.
Right.
Are we getting any kind of gear to protect me? If nothing else, so, I don't know. It just something I could pee in, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Where were they going to the bathroom at?
They weren't.
Oh, they just held it? They're like, it's only 15 hours. We're fine.
It wasn't even, it was like an hour.
Oh, okay. The flight lasted about 11 minutes and gave them a few moments of weightlessness.
Yeah. So you know how they do that? NASA has pilots do that without going to space. They get them in that plane, and then the plane just nosedives, right? And they're all weightless in the back of the plane for a while, and it just keeps going up and down like a wave sign.
This is a real thing?
Yeah, this is like for training.
Practice?
Yeah, this is for weightlessness training.
PT, practice time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And that's how they do that.
That's how they do that. Yeah, they take the plane straight up, and then they just bottom it out, and as the plane's essentially free falling, they're free falling inside the fuselage.
Yeah.
That's how they do that training. Yeah, they said this thing went 11 minutes, and it was at 62 miles above Earth, so they weren't technically in space.
Why? Well, how deep is space? Crossing the internationally recognized boundary of space.
Okay.
It's internationally recognized.
All right. Again, no oxygen, but yet the spy plane pilots who aren't in outer space, who are in sealed cabins, wear oxygen.
Listen, man, fighter pilots wear oxygen.
Not all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
You would think they would.
Not all the time.
Either way, I'd want it.
Yeah.
If I'm a pilot guy and you're the guy getting my plane ready, I'm like, dog, put an oxygen tank in there.
They weren't worried for 11 minutes about that thing decompressing. I mean, if the capsule decompressed, they were dead, right?
Titanic.
Dude.
Would you like to
Challenger Deep?
Yeah, yeah. Would you like to go see the Titanic in the sky?
Right. The sky.
Come on.
Yeah.
Does anybody know how Katy Perry ended up on that rocket? Just out of curiosity.
Well, she was the only one that knew how to use the controller.
Ooh.
Like they got that $15 video game controller.
D-Link. She's running on an old Motorola phone. Tap 9 text.
T9?
Fuck, T9, that's
T9
right.
texting?
T9, yeah.
That's how they controlled it? I don't know. I feel like it was strap them to a giant firecracker, launch their ass,
Then let it come back.
And
just riddled the sky with his shitty dick rocket left over from Katy Perry. She like signed it. She's like, this is going to be in space forever. I'm Katy Perry. Thanks a lot for coming to our show.
There are a lot of people who are not happy with us right now. I'm sure.
What?
Katy Perry fans.
Us?
Katy Perry fans are probably
What did we do?
Turning off the show right now.
I'm a huge Katy Perry fan.
Are you?
I'd fucking hump that bitch. Like,
what's your favorite album?
I didn't say there was an album. I just said I was a fan. She looks cute from a mile away. I could be a fan like that. I'm a fan of Putin because he robbed some football player. I could be a fan of this broad. She's kind of cute.
All right.
I don't know about the space thing swinging that flower around. I'm like, homie, what are you doing? What are you doing?
This was this was a huge PR stunt, right?
Oh, yeah.
Bezos' girlfriend was on that flight, too.
There it is. There it is. That's the connect.
Right.
I knew there had to be something.
And
I'm like,
Oprah Winfrey's friend was on that flight.
Yeah, Oprah's a scam.
So this was a huge PR thing because Bezos is still pissed. He didn't get the government contract to go to space to get astronauts and gear up to the International Space
So his
Station.
idea is to send a teeny bopper singer to prove that he's the man?
Yeah, well, you got to remember Virgin Galactic, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guy from Virgin Records, Virgin Mobile, Branson.
Okay.
He was trying to do commercial space flights.
Shut the fuck up.
And he was selling seats.
For real?
Yeah.
Like recently?
Well, a couple years ago. I don't know if he's still doing it.
To where, the moon?
No. Just to fly people up like Bezos did for a couple of minutes.
The guy who's in charge of the record company.
Yes.
He's trying to do this.
Yes.
I'm not riding on his shit.
Virgin Galactic.
That's never happening.
Oh, they've sent some up.
I don't give a fuck who they sent up. The minute you said this motherfucker used to make records for fucking Poison and AC/DC, I was like, nah, motherfucker, I ain't hanging out with you, dog. You spent the majority of your life learning how to compress CDs. You had your fucking moment in the tech life. Shut the fuck up and move over.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Virgin Mobile, Virgin Galactic, all the other stuff.
No.
Virgin Records,
Nope.
right? Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
And I think he was selling the seats on his space flights for $60,000 a pop. I think that's what he was charging. I don't know. You can Google that. Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic seat prices.
You can kiss my ass.
How would you like to be
never
the
happening.
hired test pilot to test fly
No.
his
I'm going to be the guy. I'm gonna be the
space
guy.
plane?
The closest I'm getting to any of those jobs is I will climb into the ship with you and buckle you in, and then I'm leaving.
I'm sorry, I was way off on the pricing.
$450K, my man. You just gave my man's like a 99% discount. You almost fucked a ton of people. Some Baes Boyz fan out there is like, fuck Joe Skelly. I'm turning this piece of shit podcast off because I thought I was going to space.
For $50K.
For $50K. $450. $500,000, my man.
For how long? And it doesn't say how long the flight is.
Joe Skelly trying to cover your other $500,000 ticket, bro.
Dude, I don't even think they've done one yet. There are 800 customers already booked for these flights.
No, well.
800.
Okay. I'm going to start
There's
a website.
a lot of people with disposable income, apparently.
Listen, I'm going to start a fucking website that promises flights to Saturn for like $20.75.
Okay. right.
$500,000 right now, boo.
Right. We're going to get your grandkids.
I want 200,000 customers. Me and Joe Skelly going to be rich when I find him. I'll have to get rid of you, AI Joe Skelly, but that's okay. I'll tell Joe Skelly.
I'll tell you, there's a space plane.
He got the space plane with the Virgin Mobile logo on it.
I told you, bro.
Listen, okay, second thing. Although I support nerds because most of them are virgins, I don't want the word virgin on the plane.
All right.
No. Look at them in their cool jackets. Hold on. Why is there a line glowing in the center of that? What is that?
They're all planes.
No.
Journey of a lifetime.
The website looks like you're about to buy boots off of fucking Wolverine's website through a firm, okay? This website looks like you're about to be on a firm buying a fucking no-name guitar off Finger Hut magazine that you pulled off the plane when you were flying home. They made a piece of shit fucking diagram with a bell curve. What does that say on it? What does that say right there at the top? The height of your fucking feelings? What does that say? What is that? What did it take you 20 minutes to read that? Apogee. They put some words on there you can't even read at a chart. Space chart looks like it's drawn by a 10-year-old, and they've got some silhouette pictures for shit that don't matter. Look, they got pictures of people.
AI pictures all over the place.
They got pictures of people driving around in the sky, but ain't none of them in space. So your whole thing is I'm going to take you to space, but all your ads are you driving around the Arizona desert. Yep. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here with this garbage.
Virgin Galactic,
my ass. This is, Tyler, I don't know, and Joe Skelly telling you right now, do not go to Virgin Galactic and spend your money. You want to go to space, you send me and Joe Skelly $450,000, I will put you in space, homie.
Yeah.
We'll put you so far up in the space K-hole, you won't even ever come out.
That's right.
You won't ever come out. $450,000. We got people to handle this. Professionals that will handle your. We have professionals that will handle your journey. That's right. And we're not going to spend any of your hard-earned money on a stupid website that looks like a firm. Like you're about to buy boots on a pay scale for the next 6 months. You could pay $3 extra, save some money.
Buy them in person.
Bezos dick rocket. The fuck out of here.
Nope, not getting on none of them. None of them are proven.
Listen, here's the craziest part, though. Look at the fucking money change that's about to happen, right?
Oh, yeah.
When we were kids, there was no place to offer this. Now you can do this. It's only $450K, which means by the time we leave this planet,
you just got to mail them a check.
By the time we leave,
transfer Bitcoin. We only take payment in Bitcoin.
Oh, by the time we leave this planet, that price should be drastically cut in half.
Oh, yeah.
So like 200K is going to get you to space.
Right. And then hopefully it'll be to another planet, right? It won't just be like when you go on as a tourist to a country and they're like, okay, get on the bus. We're going to travel around and see the sights. But it's only 11-minute ride.
Listen, dog, you know what they're going to do, right? This is basically what
happens. You know
what
I could do for $450,000? And it will take more than 11 minutes, I promise.
I could rearrange this entire half of the state with $450K, and I still have $430K left if I had that money. So, listen, this is what they're going to do. This is the death loop, and we're going to put this here, and we're leaving, all right? This is the scam. The minute those tickets drop, they start sending people, they start giving away free ones to poor families, and they start shipping them out there. Uh-huh. And they start shipping them over there, and you get there, and there's nowhere to go.
Oh, on the new planet?
Yep. Think about it. They put an in-dock room in there. You land, you come out, you think you're landing in the space station, whatever, and you get to the other side, they just whack you and get rid of you.
Well, nobody would know.
Right.
Right.
Come on, you really flying that?
Will it be like the expansion of the West, right?
That's what I'm saying.
No, they land you on the new planet. They're like, here's some farm equipment.
Yep.
Drive out as far as you humanly can.
Yep.
And then set up your homestead.
It's going to be like the Mormons in the Bug movie. Remember? He's like, they went outside the security zone.
Right.
That's what happens.
Right.
Like,
right. Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about that. Right.
Yeah, because he's talking about like, bro, you're in an unsafe zone trying to colonize. You know that there's bugs here. That's what I mean. How would we know? Right. They just started shipping off hundreds of poor people into space. How would you know where they were going? You gonna get telegrams?
Yeah, right. Space messages?
Send me a signal.
Right.
Send me a signal message.
So I did find out what that laser beam was. Remember I said there was a laser beam from outer space?
Yeah.
It turns out they had a satellite go out and send a message back via laser to see if that would be a more effective way of sending transmissions rather than radio transmissions, which could take days.
All right, well, they already sent the gold CD out, so we're fucked anyways.
Oh, yeah, that thing's out there. If there's somebody out there who... Right.
Yeah.
Was it Carl Sagan that's like, we should remain as quiet as long as humanly possible?
That's hood rules. Shut the fuck up before Debo sees you and comes to hide your shit. Debo's coming.
Right.
Come on, bro. There are some things in real life that is from the movies that's real because they took it from real life to put it in the movies. Stop sending our information out there.
Right.
Who's giving our social...
Stop broadcasting.
Right. We're over here and we only have nukes that we only use on each other. Oh,
right.
We're coming.
Yeah, pretty much.
Listen, the first fucking group of aliens that really wants us for skinwalking, we're in so much trouble. It's fucking over, bro.
Yep.
The Blade thing, that's not even a thing because they're already doing that.
They already did this as a TV show. It was called V, and it came out in the 80s. And they came down, they're like, we're here to help you. And they looked like us, but it turns out they were all reptilians.
Oh.
And what they were doing was getting people to come on board their ship because they needed food.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, bro.
Right.
You can't trust anybody.
Can't.
Fuck these space people. Fuck this Affirm Galactic Virgin website. Looks like a fucking virgin made it. We're out of here. Don't give them any of your money.
30, 97 seconds, Baes Boyz podcast.
Everything you don't need.